Josh Hawley blasted Mayorkas for his involvement in the border crisis. What happened there? Let's get to the bottom of it with you.
Mr. Secretary, you're taking special agents away from investigating child traffickers and child exploitation when you've lost tens of thousands of kids to traffickers, and you're sending them to make sandwiches at the border. What is going on? Mr. Secretary, when you were last before this committee, we talked about the tens of thousands, it's actually 420,000 unaccompanied migrant children who have come across the border under your watch. We talked about the reports of the number of these children who have been lost, who have been sold into labor trafficking, into sex trafficking. Since your last appearance, the numbers have grown worse. It now approaches 100,000 children, according to public reports, 100,000 children lost by your department and the Biden administration, migrant children sold into labor trafficking and sex trafficking. Now, your Department of Homeland Security Investigations has the authority to do child exploitation investigations. How many of these kids have you gotten back?
This is a long-standing problem with Alejandro Mayorkas. After he took office, the problems with the border and migrants increased dramatically. Unfortunately, they noticed it late and started the impeachment process. Now there are active proceedings, and I sincerely hope that he will be removed from office and he will be held accountable for all this. Now I want to hear what he has to say.
Senator, we actually have prioritized the rescue of children who have been human trafficked. Our role in the immigration process is to, with respect to unaccompanied children specifically, is to turn them over under the law within 72 hours to the Department of Health and Human Services, and that is indeed what we do.
But how many of the children, nearly 100,000 children, in the you've read the New York Times reports, I assume, Mr. Secretary?
I have read many reports, Senator Hawley.
But do you know what I'm talking about with the number of children who have been sent to operate heavy machinery, who are not being paid, who are not going to school, who are being denied food, migrant children unaccompanied, who are now in the clutches of labor traffickers? You're familiar with this, right?
That is precisely why I revised our worksite enforcement.
Josh Hawley questioned Alejandro Mayorkas at a Senate hearing on national security and how horribly mishandled the situation at the border is. Specifically, about 100,000 children have crossed the southern border and are now missing. It is suspected that many of them have been sold into forced labor or worse. How is this even possible? I don't understand.
Good. How many of the kids have you gotten back then? 85,000 or more now lost contact with. It's been months since you were last year. How many of those children have you rescued? Can you give me a number?
You are conflating issues.
So you can't give me a number. You haven't rescued any of these children. You haven't gotten any of them back.
You are conflating issues and what is within our remit and what is outside of it.
Okay. Well, it doesn't sound to me like this is a priority, and I have to tell you, that's what your own agents tell me as well. A whistleblower from your agency of Homeland Security Investigations has come to me and has said that special agents who are working on child trafficking cases and fentanyl interdiction cases have been pulled off of their investigations and sent to the southern border.
Here comes another poignant fact that confirms his involvement in such gross offenses. He simply suspended the people who prevented him from conducting the case as he pleased and not following the law. Are you out of your mind? Using children as free labor. You clearly have a problem that's dangerous to be in society with. It doesn't matter where the children come from. What makes them different from us?
Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these agents at a time, taken out of the field, taken off child exploitation cases, and sent to the southern border. Here's some of what she said. She said, we're being told to shut down investigations, to go hand out sandwiches, and escort migrants to the shower, and sit with them while they're in the hospital, and those types of tasks. Mr. Secretary, you're taking special agents away from investigating child traffickers and child exploitation when you've lost tens of thousands of kids to traffickers, and you're sending them to make sandwiches at the border. What is going on?
You are incorrect, Senator.
Are there special agents from HSI at the border?
Senator, we have a number of priorities. We prioritize trafficking in children. We prioritize the fight against fentanyl. We prioritize...
Mr. Secretary, you're not answering my question. You're not answering my question. Are there HSI special agents who are currently at the border, having been pulled away from other cases? Yes or no?
Combating the fight against fentanyl, yes.
That's a big mistake these days. Alejandro Mayorkas has screwed up and should be removed from office immediately. The migration crisis is the leading problem in our country right now, and every effort should be made to end it all. What do you think about this? Write your opinion in the comments, and don't forget to watch other shocking news on the channel.